Happy Tuesday. Assalamu alaikum. Come on in the room. Muhammad Has, Annette Boss Lady Creations. I see y'all, man. As y'all joining, I can't say all y'all names. Brother Patrick. I gotta tell y'all what happened to me today. I just gotta tell y'all what happened to me at the nail shop. So come on in the room. Let me know where you jumping in from. Will 7, where you from? Brother Patrick, where you from? Annette, where you from? Lady Creation, Boss Lady Creations, where you from? Let me know where y'all from. Some of y'all joined and it went past so fast I missed your names. Come on in the room so I can tell y'all what happened to me today. I had a Julius Mitchell. Greetings. Assalamu alaikum. Let me know where you from. Hey, Cleveland, Ohio. Mr. Will, Chi-Town, my favorite town. Man, I haven't been to Cleveland in years. I can't even remember anything specific about Cleveland. I think when I was there, I was just working in the office and between the office and the hotel. I don't remember anything about Cleveland. But y'all know Chi is my favorite. Chi is my favorite vibration from a city standpoint. So I was out last week, Power Networking Conference and a couple of other things, and just working on doing lots of consulting and speaking engagements to assist with donations. Tower City. And so let me put this in here because some of y'all may want to make your donation while we are on here now. I don't know why y'all always claiming like y'all don't know where to donate. I don't know how many of y'all be inboxing me. I'm gonna make it real easy for y'all right now. I'm not even putting the credit card one. I'm gonna make it real easy for y'all because some of y'all inbox me and say, hey, I was trying to support Sajda House, but I don't know what to do and I don't know what to donate. And my response is always like, what rock you been under? Because we've had so many press conferences, and I mean, we've gone, the media's gone out around the world. You can buy the coin, you can become a sponsor, you can donate via SajdaHouseDonations.com, you can Cash App. I put that there because I'm gonna make it real easy for y'all. But anyway, this is what I wanted to tell y'all. So I was out last week, super busy, and I have gotten super spoiled by JBB Nailed It, my black nail salon, to the point where I can't really stand going to other nail salons. Or even, I should say, those that are not run and owned by us. So they spoiled me. I had like a short window of time today between calls, and I just said, man, I don't have time to go out to see Tasha and them at JBB Nailed It. So let me just run down the street. Let me just run down here and get something done really quickly, so that I can get back and get on this next call. Because I'm ramping up. We're moving into a press season for me and for the house, and so there's just been a lot of tapings and a lot of calls. And today, this is my admin day look. So today was admin day, and so I was like, while I'm in between, let me run and get this done. I'm not even gonna try to go out to Tasha's. Made a mistake. And I don't know. I'm just into nails, right? I have been ever since I was a little girl. My grandmother used to have really long, beautiful just beautiful, brilliant nails. And I used to paint her nails, and I've always had pretty good nails and pretty good hands, and so I just like keeping them up. It's part of my upkeep and my grooming, right? So I go okay, I go down here to this nail shop, get my nails done, didn't need a pedicure, and I'm finishing up and I'm paying. And so she was like, will that be cash or credit? And so I said, oh, I'm going to use a card. So I go in my wallet, get my card out, pay, and I said, oh, and they had got a new system, and I said, oh, welcome, it's Amila. And I said, y'all got a new system. I said, I can't tip on the card anymore. And they said, no, the tip is cash. So I go in my wallet, right, like this, and I have some receipts and stuff in here. And usually I start to just take my receipts out of my wallet after I just, you know, kind of just tally up and go over everything. But I just hadn't done that yet. So I'm, you know, digging in here to get some ones, because I figured I'll give like $5 or $6 cash. It wasn't exceptional service. Let me know where you're chiming in from. Nine's even mirror. Welcome. Let me know where you coming in from. So this is so crazy. So I'm getting the money out, and I'm looking for some ones. So I found 4 ones, and I remembered in between these receipts, you know, that I just took out of here, that I had some other ones from the other day. Cause you ain't getting a 20. That's what I really wanted to say. Ma'am, you ain't getting a 20 because you ain't do that good. So, but it's okay. It's just a welcome, New Jersey. It's just a holdover until I can get to my girl at JBB Nailed It. I pull out the $4, and I promise you, I had it. You know how you pull out the money? Let me demonstrate for y'all real quick. I'm going to show y'all. I'm going to use these receipts to show y'all. Okay. So I got my wallet right here. I'm on the counter, and I pulled it out maybe about this far. Excuse my language, but I got to cuss for this. You know, this bitch reached over and snatched my $4 out of my hand, and I snatched it back from her so quick. And you know how the ministers say, you just scratch the surface and the nigga will come out. I was like, B, have you lost your MF in mind? I said, you don't reach over. And she was all holding her hand like I had hurt her hand because I snatched it so fast. And then one of the managers came over and was like, looked like they was cursing her out in Vietnamese. And I said, the only reason why I'm not going to reverse the charge on this credit card is because I'm an entrepreneur. And I did receive a service, and I want to respect that. I said, but I bet you won't get no tip. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I said, no, listen, when I finished telling them off, and there were 2 ladies that had been sitting next to me while we were getting our nails done, white ladies, they just were teenagers. Like, they were, we were just talking back and forth about colors. And so they was paying too, and they looked at me, and I said, no, I won't be back here. And they was like, me neither. I said, good. Y'all shouldn't either. But do you know, let me tell y'all something. Do you know what a violation it is when somebody's just has something right here? You done reached into my personal space and snatched my phone. Now, I was about to get you $2 more. And I don't even think I got the statement, B, have you lost your MF and mine out, before I had done snatched it and damn near crushed her hand. And she was like, oh, I said, no, you done lost your mind. So they started trying to tell me and talk to me and was like, oh, you know, don't worry, she's new. I don't care if she's new or old. Everybody knows that you don't do that. I said, wait till y'all see these reviews. And so then they really start tripping. But anyway, I was so irritated. So look, customer service is everything. And let me just say this. So there's all kind of statistics out here that the Asian community is now the #1 earner in the world. And I've given those statistics on my show on the Sajda Wendy Muhammad YouTube channel. They now are out earning Caucasians, Blacks, Hispanics. They are the top earners right now in the United States. Let me know where you're chiming in from. Welcome, welcome. They are, thank you, Annette. They are the top earners in the nation right now. And it's the result of what they call a crisis economy. Okay? The crisis economy was born out of the fact that when they came here to the United States, they were not allowed to do business in certain neighborhoods. So in essence, it was sort of a way of redlining. So they ended up, though, because their trauma is different from ours, they ended up being forced because of the crisis and because of the almost the abuse of being welcome Los Angeles, moving into our community and doing business. And it is on our backs because we are the biggest consumers that they are now the #1 earner in the United States. So whether it's the nail shops, whether it's hair, whether it's Chinese food restaurants, welcome Memphis, whatever it is. Somebody from Memphis had asked me earlier how to donate to Sajda House. I'm going to make it real easy for you because some of y'all don't remember SajdaHouse.com. Some of y'all don't remember SajdaHouseDonations.com. So I put the Cash App right here. So they got together because a lot of Asians don't all get along. A lot of times the Koreans and the Vietnamese, and they don't always all get along. But because they were abused and there was a form of redlining, but our redlining didn't necessarily produce the level of unity that transcended into economic development like it did with them. And so I have a real problem with them coming into our community and mistreating us. I have a real problem with them mistreating anybody, period, but especially black people. And it's just, and I told them, let me tell you something, they got a nice earful from me in front of all their customers. And I got some other ways I'm going to go online and deal with it in terms of reviews and things like that. I pay for my service. I'm an entrepreneur. I believe in paying for that. But at the same time, oh, you finna hear it and you ain't going to get no tip. Because she called herself being irritated because she thought I was only going to give her $4. Well, for that, you got snatched back and your hand damn near broken and you ain't get no tip. How about that? And I told the owner a few things too. But my point being is that I just pray that when we really start to understand the science of service, which is part of the science of business, that we are better than these people. Brother Daniel 4X, walaikum salam. That we are better than these people that are in our communities. I really pray that. You know, I have a lot of friends in the restaurant industry. I try my best to employ as many of us as black people, but we have to find a way to go above and beyond when it comes to service and when it comes to supporting one another. We really, really, really do. We really have to get ourselves to the point where we're just better by each other, because when we get it right, it feels so good. And that's part of why I probably drew the energy of the lady snatching the money from me to myself, because I was already irritated because I didn't have time to go see my sister at her nail shop. And they got me so spoiled that I probably walked in with a certain energy and a certain attitude that they actually, picked up on. But I just want to say that to us. I'm going to be working on a series. I won't tell you the name of the series because I don't want anybody to steal the concept or the idea. Industry 5M, welcome. But we're going to talk about service and the art of service. We're going to talk about the art of sales and customer service. Because in a lot of these cultures, you have people who have, like us, been in the service industry for generations, but they take pride in having been in the service industry for generations. So I know people who are Eastern European, and they tend to be really big into skincare. And they will tell you, yes, I'm in this country, I'm an esthetician. My mother was an esthetician. My father was an esthetician. My grandfather was an esthetician. And they take a certain level of pride in being the esthetician because it's sort of a generational process for them. I know people who are wait staff at top, Michelin restaurants, and their parents, their mother or father or somebody else in their family was also, and maybe even their grandfather. And so they take pride in being a waiter at a Michelin rated restaurant or at any restaurant. And so my mission is for us to learn our history so that we can all find something from our past that we can take pride in and build upon to build a legacy for ourselves. Because you got these daggone people who are so damn disrespectful to the very people whose backs you've become the number one earners in the United States on. I just want you to think about that for a minute. But you see, God don't like ugly, and energy don't lie. And it won't be like that for long if you keep on. People tired of it. And so I also want to say to us, and let's not spend our money where we're not respected. Let's not spend our money where we're not even in essence celebrated. Let's not do it. I have this policy, and so I went even against, today I even went against my own personal policy where my money don't follow bad energy. So if you disrespect me or you got a problem with me, you don't get my money. You don't get a dollar or a dime from me. But because of convenience, and because I felt like I was doing something, sorry, my phone rang and knocked the whole phone down. I made a compromise. And I paid for it because it made me, I can't even say it made me act other than myself. It made me just let them know that I was a queen. That you don't just handle me any old kind of way. You don't just snatch nothing from me because I know who I am. So I can't even say it made me act other, except, well, okay, the part where I cursed at them, that probably was being other than myself. But in recognizing who I am and how I should be treated, that is definitely not me acting other than myself. But I just pray that as we study. You all can go to the Sasha Wendy Muhammad YouTube channel. You'll see that I have different talks and different courses on ways in which we can connect to people in history that can give us something that we can anchor to that aligns with our authenticity, so that we can use that as a source of pride. See, so much of our history has been taken from us. A lot of us don't have that in our families, so we got to find some other way and somebody else to connect to, because our parents did the best that they could, and maybe they didn't leave that kind of legacy when it came to entrepreneurship or some skill set. But as we begin to study as conscious entrepreneurs, let's make sure that we anchor ourselves in to something that we can be proud of and we can build a legacy on. See, I'm going to say this last thing before I go, and I'm going to cover this in this series of courses that I'm going to do. We talk about generational wealth. And there's a couple things we leave out when we're talking about generational wealth. We leave out generational health, and we leave out legacy and legacy building. What do I mean by that? I use this as an example all the time. You had people like J.P. Morgan, the financial mogul J.P. Morgan, who helped to establish the Federal Reserve System in 1913. I think he died somewhere around 1860 or so. I can't remember. But his company, Morgan Stanley, is still active and a household name 100 years later. How did that happen? It's because they built a legacy, and they made sure that their business and their services did not die. It's one thing to say, let me get an insurance policy, let me leave my children some money so that they don't have to start over like I did. Let me leave them $1 million, 100,000, whatever the policy is. And that's wisdom. But it's supreme wisdom to figure out how to leave a legacy so that 100 years from now, just like this man, you can walk into Chase Bank that he started back then. You can walk into Morgan Stanley that he started back then. I think maybe one of the sons started. You can walk into Goodyear Tire Company that's over 100 years old. See, now we're talking about generational, not just wealth, but generational legacy. So let's be of service. Let's be better than these people who are out here being predators in our community. And generally, when you provide better service and when black folks get it right, it ain't nothing like us. And let's learn to serve each other, because we have money. We're the number one consumers in the world. We spending money, we getting it from somewhere. So don't listen to that old myth that says black people ain't got no money, because we got money. We spend money all the time, all day long. We're the number one consumers. Let's just start spending that money with one another and being of service to one another. Let's stop hating on one another. Let's stop all this wanton criticism of everything black, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us. Let's have a little bit more patience with our black vendors and our black people who are in business. Let's go that extra mile. If we got to drive an extra exit to shop black and buy black Muslim, let's do it. If we got to wait an extra week for a delivery, let's do it. We'll get better. Our black businesses will get better with our support. But we have to first do better. We have to be intentional about building legacy businesses, preserving our history. Because these people, off the backs of us as black people, when white folks told them they couldn't do business in their neighborhood, nobody would loan an Asian any money at one point. They couldn't open Chinese restaurant and businesses in the white community for many, many decades. They came to the black community. It was unpoliced. It was unregulated. We had food deserts and service industry deserts, and we went there and allowed them to treat us like shit. And we continue to spend our money with them. And today, they are the number one earners in America. Their income levels, their businesses have outpaced even white people. That's what a crisis economy within a community can do for them when you unite as a result of that crisis. And I'm saying to us, we've been in a perpetual crisis. So let's unite. And I don't care how busy I am. Y'all just may have to see me with jacked up nails, but I ain't messing with them people no more. So let's buy black, let's support, let's preserve our legacy, support the completion of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House Museum. You can get your commemorative Elijah coin by going to sajdahouse.com, or you can go to sajdahousedonations.com, or you can cash app us at Mode Today. And we're going to come out. We'll have more conversations about it. If you want to see some of the videos and some of the things that we're working on, you can go to the Sajda Wendy Muhammad YouTube page. Make sure you like and subscribe to the page. Yeah, that's what we gotta do. Let's preserve our history. And I'm doing the best I can to walk the walk and talk the talk. I don't ask for anything when I don't have skin in the game. I make sure that I'm of service, and I try to buy black. We must make sure it stops there and support self and kind. That's exactly right. Lewis the actor, welcome, welcome. We must make sure it stops there and support ourselves and kind. We have to be intentional about it. And you have to be I don't know what the word is, but you just have to be intentional about it. You have to be somebody that's intentional about buying black and supporting our black community, supporting those of us that are black businesses. You decide that you want to go out to eat this weekend, find someplace black. Most of our cities have sit-down black restaurants. We got places where we can go, but let's do it. Support black farmers. Support black hairdressers. If you know a black beauty supply, support them. If you know a black grocery store, support them. You start carrying purses and things like that, or you want to buy something, go buy a black brand. But let's be intentional about it. And let yourself just represent. And look around. I'm telling you, you could take inventory of your clothing and the items you have on your body, and how much of what you have on your body came from somebody black. Whether they were a distributor or whether they made the item. How much of it, and how much of those black dollars that you spent to wear what you're wearing, it comes from the black community and was recirculated into the black community. Every black nail shop right now should be so busy that you can't even get in there, because we need to stop spending our money with people who don't respect us. And I'm telling you, us of all people, them people should be carrying us on their shoulders. That's what they should be doing. So, all right, family, I just had to tell y'all that. Brother Lamont, welcome. I just had to tell y'all that. Anybody, any questions for me about the mind of an entrepreneur or Sajda House before we go off? I was just looking at the time. I got a few minutes if you all have any questions about urban historic preservation, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House, the mind of an entrepreneur, business coaching, business consulting, I came out last week and gave out some free services to those who had purchased my book. That promo is over with, and I'll come up with some other promotions. If you still want to book my service and you're really serious about getting your business taken to that next level, the link is in the bio. All you got to do is click there and you can book me. If you buy one session, I'll give you one session for free. And I will work as hard as I can to make a difference in your business and in your life. One and only fashionista Christina said, next museum tour, I'm thinking it's going to be somewhere around the Day of Atonement. So stay close, which is around the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's birth anniversary. So I'm praying on what our next thing and our next venture is going to be. And I ask that you all keep the project in your prayer. Is all the copper already formed into coins and pendants, or can we get something custom like a ring? Brother Daniel 4X, no, all the copper has not been formed into coins. We still have about 800 of the graded coins that are for sale at sajdahouse.com, and you can go there and get them. The remaining copper that we have, the process is that the copper we have to go through it and wash it. Remember, the copper is 120 years old, and so we haven't inspected the copper that we have left to see how much of it is usable, because sometimes when you start to pull it apart, it crumbles, and if it's crumbly like that, we can't use it. But if we can bend it and bind it, then that means it can withstand the 1983 degree Fahrenheit heat, and we can make something out of it. I had not thought about making rings or selling pieces of it. That's an option. We would just have to figure out how to cut it. We'd have to wash it and cut it. Very similar to what we do before we send it to make the coins. But I figure once we got through about half of this current batch, we're going to come up, this is the 2020 version of the coin. We are going to design a 2023 version, and inshallah, what copper we have, we're going to make 2023 coins. So we still have to wash it and cut it, but it's very possible that we could sell smaller pieces of it that you could purchase and make a ring. Let me know, Brother Daniel 4X. That was a long answer. Let me know if that answered your question, because I was just thinking through it as we were talking. Just let me know if that answers your question. Any other questions on business development, coaching, consulting, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House? I got about 15 minutes if you all still want to ask me some questions, and if you don't, then I can jump off and go do something else. But thank you for your questions so far. Thank you, Cecilia, MGT. Welcome. Thank you, Brother Daniel 4X, for your question. Okay. Thank you, Brother Daniel. Yes, sir. All right. And let's see. I'm going to be looking into your business coaching soon. That's Brother Eduardo X. Okay. Yes, sir. I do business coaching primarily a lot on authenticity training, on how to discover and monetize your authentic self, improving our money psychology. I do coaching and training around improving money psychology, meaning your relationship with your money. And I do coaching related to emotional intelligence, so understanding how to use our emotions. And I do coaching on just how to be an entrepreneur. Now, on the consulting and advisory side, I can help you scale your business, expand your business. If you have a business that's just kind of stagnant and it's not moving, I can help you. I can come in and help you evaluate and figure out what's wrong and what's right and what we should focus on. If you're just building a business and you're trying to figure out how to build a model that is scalable and expandable so that you don't come out the gate limiting your income. That happens a lot with people who start up. They make a business and the model really just dictates that they can only make but so much money. So there's all those kind of things that can help you with your policies and procedures. Shelly G54 said, what's a good business to start now? Welcome, Brother Richard 2X. Shelly, I would say to you, focus on the needs of the people. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us a $100 million template to follow, business to follow, where he built an empire in the midst of a very bad economy and very bad situation for us as black people. High inflation rates, high interest rates at that time. Granted, it was we did have the momentum of a crisis economy in that we were kind of shut out, like what I talked about the Asians being. But one of the things that he told us, and I'm going to paraphrase here, something that is recession proof is when we focus on the needs of the people. Soul Jazz Joint. And let me just tell you, I can't tell you what business to start, but I will tell you what not to do. What you should do is focus on the needs of the people and find something that is authentic and easy for you to do, something that you are easily able to stay up all night doing, something that you easily will work really extra hard doing. That's important. But this is what you shouldn't do. And this is what I see so much with our black businesses. Welcome. We look up and we see what everybody else is doing. And we go do it. We find out that sister so-and-so is doing hair. And all of a sudden we don't care nothing about hair, but we want to be into hair. Somebody may say, oh, I know Sister Saja's into real estate and she started out in finance and accounting, so I'm going to do that too. It's one thing to do it as let's say a person who's aspiring in their career, and I tell them how I was able to use that and leverage that to become successful. Welcome, Brother Hamza Speaks. But it's another thing to do it as a copycat. And if you just peruse social media, you will see so many black people. Walaikum salam, sir. You will see so many black people who are doing the same thing. Everybody's teaching how to sell online. Everybody wants to be a business coach. Let me tell you something. When you hire a business coach or a business consultant, understand what you are hiring by understanding what you need. One of the first sessions, that's why when you buy a session with me, I give you a session for free, because that first session is really just me helping you figure out how to, and assessing what it is that you need. Because if you need a hardcore business person like me who understands the technical side that includes accounting, finance, human resources, marketing, engineering, policies and procedures, corporate culture, and somebody who has receipts in that area, then I'm your person. But don't go needing somebody like me and then hire somebody who doesn't necessarily have a business background and expect from them what you might get from me. Some people are really great at motivation, and they can really make you get up in the morning and make you excited. That may or may not be me. I'm the person who's going to make you think. I'm going to make you think about what you're doing. I'm going to push you into mathematical thinking and force you to go beyond your intellectual capacity. I may not be your cheerleader and I may not motivate you. So if you're looking for that person, then there's another coach out there for you. You have to go get somebody else. But if you want somebody to push you into mathematical thinking to help you cut through some of that emotion and see past those blind spots, and somebody who can dig into your business and look at it and say, okay, this is where you're right, this is where you're wrong, this is what's going on, then I'm your person. Okay, so know what you're getting when you go into consulting. But in answer to your question, what business should you be going into now? Something that is authentic to you, something that focuses on the needs of the people, because that's going to be recession proof, inflationary proof. People got to eat. There are certain goods and services and technology that people need to have, and they're going to always need to have, that if you learn to provide for them, you will always eat. So I can't tell you exactly what business to go into, because I don't know who you are and I don't know your skill sets right now. But when people put their emotion and spirit into something, just about anything will sell. But I would say those are my two guidelines. Okay, we got it's 3:51, about 9 minutes. Any other questions? Shelly 54 said, well, ASA. So, walaikum salam. Thank you for your insight. Yes. Brother Hamza, walaikum salam. I think I already returned your greetings. Welcome to those of you who are just now joining. We've got about 9 more minutes. Ask me any questions you want about business coaching, business development, urban historic preservation, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House. Let me know. What do you say about nonprofits? Annette, what do you mean? What do I say about nonprofits? What do you want to know about nonprofits? Let me know your specific question. Anybody else? Somebody just said, what do you say about nonprofits? Let me know your specific question. And I'll ask you. Business coaching, business consulting, mental strategies, you name it. Let me know, and I can help to answer those questions for you. What is that? Free. Some of y'all names be so long. I don't know what that is. Free Cedric 24, I think, maybe. But anyway, welcome. I just waved at you. Welcome. Okay, if you don't have any questions, y'all don't chip and dip me. Y'all know I don't like that. Don't play with me. Make a donation. We have to. If we want good information, we want people to give us good advice, then we have to be willing to pay for it. She said probably the financing of a nonprofit. The financing of a nonprofit. I'm not really sure what you mean. Let me take a stab at it. The financing of a nonprofit. So are you talking about the structure of your nonprofit? Are you talking about how to pay for getting your nonprofit started? Are you talking about how to get donations for your nonprofit? Like grants. Okay. Well, I think you have to subscribe to grant sites so that you know what grants are available. You have to have your basic things in order. So you definitely want your bank account, you want your LLC, you want not your LLC, but your corporation, you want that structured, you want the nonprofit structure, right? You have to find, she said, or black philanthropies to start up. Sometimes black philanthropies are not very responsive. Sometimes they are. Sometimes you just never know. So you have to be set up one way or another. Have yourself together and join mailing lists and sites. There's grants.gov. There's sites for certain large philanthropic organizations. So when you see those grants come up, even with the city of Chicago or the state of Illinois or any of those other municipalities, you can apply for their grants. You just have to be ready. You have to have all your ducks in a row. You're probably going to need your tax returns, your bank statements. You're going to need your 501c3. You're going to make sure you have a clear mission statement. And what I always like to tell people, put some skin in the game. Okay? If you don't have no skin in the game, don't ask nobody for no money. This is just my own personal philosophy. I think you get yourself in trouble when you don't have skin in the game and you go out and ask people for money. I never asked anybody for anything with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House Museum development until I was $4.5 million in of my own money. And I said, I started going out for donations. And then even then, I was selling the coins and selling t-shirts. So if you gave $100, you got a t-shirt or a keychain or something like that. Always giving somebody something in value for an exchange for what they give to you. I don't believe that if you have a business or a nonprofit, until you have your own skin in the game, should you be asking for money. Now, a lot of people say, well, you know, whatever, is free money out there. That's on you and that's your business. But I feel like you need some skin in the game. Put something together yourself. You got to be able to say to people when you sit down, if you sit down in front of me and say, I want you to invest in my project, the first thing I'm going to ask you is how much have you invested in yourself? When I say skin in the game, I mean how much have you put in on your own? It's like back in the day, I used to sell distribution and help people to get music deals. And the first thing the labels would ask you, well, how many CDs have you sold? And if you couldn't show them where you sold 50,000, 100,000 in a certain period of time, then they weren't going to give you their money. So otherwise, it becomes free money to you. And free money makes you conduct yourself differently from when it's your own money. You see, and this is just my own spiritual principle. If I ask for money, that means I've already invested my money. So if you're starting, Sister Annette, a nonprofit organization, put some skin in the game. Meaning, be of service first. Have a track record of having put your own money in. This is real. This is a real touchy thing of how people get themselves in trouble with municipalities and nonprofit organizations and things like that. Somebody give you $1 million, you don't put none of your own money in, and then if you make a mistake with that money, then it can be easily said that you were using that money to make a profit. She said, do you know of any black courses in nonprofit or grant writing that you know of? No, I don't. Anybody here in the chat that knows of anybody that teaches? I'm sure if you Google it, you can find something online. And there are a lot of, oh wait, there was a woman at Power Networking Conference who said, and she's from Prince George's County, and she does grant writing, and I think she teaches grant writing. Why don't you Google grant writer, Prince George's County. It's a sister. I can see her face. I don't think I have her information, but I know she's from Prince George's County. I sat on a couple panels with her at the State of the Black World Conference. We were on a panel together, and I saw her at the Power Networking Conference. But she's a major grant writer and fundraiser, and she's black. And I'm sorry, I just can't, I see her face, but I can't think of her name. I don't think we actually really chopped it up, and I don't know. But maybe if you Google her, but I know she's a major fundraiser in that area. Sister Annette, Google her. Google nonprofit fundraiser, African American woman, Prince George's County. She's kind of light-skinned, pretty sister. You put Howard. I don't know what that means, Sister Annette Howard. Tell me what you mean by that, Howard, when you say Howard. But Google it. I just remember her. That's a person, the only thing I could think of. But invest in yourself first. And when you go to the table to ask people for money, you can go with dignity, knowing that you've invested. And see, here's the thing. There's a spiritual thing with money when you start talking about the flow of money. So when you begin to create that flow of money, where you give and money comes back to you and it circulates. I don't know if she's affiliated with Howard, but it's Prince George's County. I know for sure she's from Prince George's County, but I don't know if she's affiliated with Howard. I'm sorry if I mentioned that. I didn't think I did, but I don't know that if she's affiliated with Howard University. But it is Prince George's County where I know she either works and or lives. But that flow of money, that's what you want to create. So when you sit down at the table in front of somebody and you're asking for money, you want to know that you can create and generate money. You understand you may have to increase the amount of money that is flowing to you. And if you got a little flow, you can always increase it. But be very, 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 very careful if you're starting a nonprofit organization. Make sure you got your own skin in the game and invest in yourself first. Don't let them people's money be the only money that you have for funding your organization. That's just my own personal advice, because you got to be able to sustain it, and you have no way of knowing if you're going to get that grant the next year. So get yourself in the process of working through your business model and understanding what works and what doesn't work. With the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House, we've done so many proof of concept tours and studies and conversations, so that as we're developing the business model, we know we can create something, inshallah, that works, so that we can sustain ourselves and we can increase the flow that we currently have now. We're creating products and services that are revenue generating and revenue centers that will sustain the museum. And then whatever we get from a program standpoint, where we get donations to bring in high school students or any kind of student, or any kind of programmatic money that comes in, or anything else, it's just gravy. It's just extra. It's the amount that we can use for more staff. But invest in yourself first. Have some skin in the game. Be able to show that your concept works, and prove to yourself that your concept works, and have something that you're working while you're waiting on that money. So have a way in which you're moving and churning the wheel while you're waiting on that money to come. And again, don't ask them people for no money if you ain't got your own skin in the game. That's just my opinion. There's no such thing as free money. You have to do something in exchange for that money. It might just be reporting. So be prepared. If you get $100,000, $1 million from somebody, there will be reporting and documentation requirements. Okay? So keep that in mind. You're going to have to make sure that you do that, and you're going to have to make sure that your staff is on point, so that they're putting records together so that you're auditable. In other words, so that it's easy to audit. You can produce reports and receipts when you need. So make sure that you can do that. But there's no such thing as free money. It comes with a price. Make sure you understand when you get that money, what are the things that they will allow and they won't allow. I like to ask that up front. I tell my clients all the time, ask this person up front, what are you expecting and what are your expectations? And make sure that those expectations, and then ask them, hey, what are the deal breakers for you? And then you take those list of expectations and that list of deal breakers, and you reconcile that with your business model and you make sure that you can live with it. I'll tell you something, and one thing to keep in mind, yeah, have your ducks in a row. I had a contract one time with Chicago Public Housing Authority, and I had developed this program called Welfare to Work. And I was going into the public housing areas and helping sisters prepare themselves to go from welfare to work. So interviews, dressing, conduct, mental strategies, all of that kind of stuff. And what I neglected to ask at that time, it was one of my very first clients. I had done some HUD audits for Chicago Public Housing Authority. This is back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And in doing the HUD audits, they went relatively smoothly because I just created an audit program. I went into whether it was a nursing home or retirement home, went through my audit checklist, showed them how to prepare for the audit so that when HUD came in to do the audit, they had all of their ducks in the row. And as long as they followed my program, then they would be ready for their audits and they'd be able to continue to receive public subsidies for the housing. So then I went back to Chicago Public Housing Authority because that worked out pretty well for me. And I started the Welfare to Work program, and I had did a couple, I guess you could call it workshops, and had a couple relationships with another sister, another MGT that I was working with. And then after, she had some life changes, and so I just kept going. I created the program. I went down to them. I got an office. And but what I neglected to ask was, how long does it take y'all to give up the money? And when I tell you they stretched me out, sometimes it would be 45 days. Sometimes it would be 90 days. I didn't have a line of credit. I had staff to pay. I had my own personal bills to pay. And I really had myself in a bind because I was bound contractually, but so I couldn't really get out of it. But they were so slow pay. I finally got them down to, I think it was 45 days, because I ended up making friends with somebody down there and just start talking to them like, look, us small businesses cannot be stretched out like this. But what it became clear to me was that I didn't make that clear up front. And before I went and applied, I should have had my own skin in the game, whether it was a certain amount of money in the bank. So if it took them a long time to pay me, I could handle it and my business wouldn't damn near shut down. Where I could go ahead and get started before they gave me the money. Even if I got started in a sluggish kind of way, I should have done that up front, and I learned that. And I learned so that even years later, when we were doing the hospital development, I made sure that my patient mix was such that not all of my money was charitable money or government money that we were receiving. I was very careful with that, because it just has with it certain parameters and certain things that you want to do. And understanding also that in this country, there are certain rules and there's certain things in place. And when you start trying to think outside the box, maybe be a liberator or to do something that nobody's ever done, a lot of times nobody's going to finance that for you. And so you want to try to be able to finance that yourself. People generally will finance, invest in, give nonprofit money for things that they know they've seen before, that are tried and true, that they already know are going to work. So if you have, for me, I'm the kind of person where God tends to give me projects that are historical, that are groundbreaking, and oftentimes they're not things that people are so easy to invest in. We were building the hospital. We were $13 million in before a bank would even talk to us. And we just bootstrapped it. We just, every dime we got, we saved. We didn't take a salary. So I'm just sharing that. That's probably a little bit more than what you needed, Sister Annette, but I just wanted to give you an idea. You can find out who is currently financing. Yeah, so you got to go to those websites. I would go to grants.gov. There's also bonfire.com. No, I've never used angel funds. I've never gotten angel investors or money like that for anything that I've ever done. I've always, for whatever reason, had to bootstrap my own stuff. But I do know people who seem like they're always getting investors and things like that. I've not ever been blessed in that way. So I couldn't even tell you where to begin with angel funds. I've always either had to work my job and my project, or work really hard and come up with the money. I've never been blessed with an angel investor. I would love it. That would be beautiful. That would like just damn near set me in heaven overnight. I'd be so happy. But yeah, I've never had that. We must learn from past practices so we don't fall in present circumstances. Agreed. That's what Brother Ronald Robinson said. Okay, y'all. No other comments. I've gone a few minutes longer than what I planned. I have an event tonight that I need to get ready for. Brother Daniel said, I took a lot from that answer. Okay, good. I'm sorry. I kind of had to ad-lib that and just, one thing I will always do is just tell you from my own experiences. So that's the kind of coach that I am. I don't generally teach theory. Even as a consultant, I don't generally offer services that I don't have experience in offering services for. So I will tell you, and I don't generally teach things that I have not yet experienced. The flip side of that is that I've been very blessed that Allah has deposited a lot of himself in me, and I've been blessed since a very young age to have been in business and to have worked in public accounting and in the business consulting world, where in those worlds, you're usually in and out of more companies than most people have been in and out of in their entire lifetime. So while most people are working a job and they're going to that same desk, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, that's just not my background, where they take a job and they're going to that same desk for a few years. And even if that job offers them a lot of experience, it's not like being a business consultant where in 3 years, you may be at your job with a lot of responsibilities, but for me in 3 years I'm picking up another client every maybe 2-3 months or 3 or 4 months. So I've had just that many more experiences in that 3-year period than maybe you have. And so that's what gives me the ability to be able to coach you on a broad and deep level, is those experiences. So all right, family, I'm going to get ready. I got to go to an event, and I thank you all for joining me today. Thank you all who have made donations to Saj the House, those who even jumped on and did some Cash App today. I really, really appreciate it. Don't chip and dip me. I try to give good information that you normally would have to pay for. So we always on this channel always want to get us as a people to understanding that we have to pay for knowledge, wisdom, and freedom. If we want these kind of things in our community, if we want this kind of wisdom coming to us for free, because I'm not one of those persons, I'm not going to charge you for the game. I'm going to charge you for the services. But the game is free because I've already paid for it with my blood, sweat, and tears. So I'm willing to give it to you. Now, if you want me to come in and help you with the services, then I charge for that. But the game is free. And so I decided a long time ago, because I would see so many black people holding back the game. And if somebody would just give you the game and tell you how to do it, I always felt like, man, I could get so much further. But I used to do so much networking and so much meeting and sitting down with people, and they don't give up the game. They're just talking around the game, and then they charge you $3.99, $4.99 for a workshop or a seminar where they're not giving you services, they're giving you game. And sometimes the game feels old because it's something that maybe you kind of already knew, but they just gave it to you in a different kind of way. No, give me the services. Put me in front of some checks. Show me how to get in front of the money. Don't come giving me game and charging me for the game. But that's what people do. And so I don't do that. I'm just different, and I'm not putting anybody down who does it differently, but I'm going to give you the game. I'm going to put you up on game. You talk to me, you consult with me, I promise you that 1 or 2 hours, that 1 hour you pay for, that extra hour you get is going to be worth it, because I'm going to put you up on game. And as long as you can accept it and use it, then it'll be beneficial to you. I'm going to show you how to get in front of some checks, whether mentally or physically with your choices that you make for your business. I'm going to show you how, in my experience, I've seen people set up these businesses and make money. I'm not talking about what you may have learned in a classroom, from a class you took, from a certification you took. Those are theories. I'm talking about from my experience with the level of cash flow that I've either been around. I built over $500 million worth of businesses throughout the course of my career, either built the businesses or managed the projects and got them to that point. So much so that I was so stuck in a rut that I had to sit down and say to myself, if I can do this for these people, why can't I do this for myself? And it took me a while to flip my brain. So now I've seen a lot, and I can help you all at that level. So yeah, services, you need the services. I'm going to charge you for that, because that means I got to sit down and actually come and do the services. I got to come to your business or I got to analyze your business and actually do a service. But if you want some game, then click the link in the bio. I'll give you the game for free, because ain't nobody giving away the game out here. They just talking. They just motivating you, and then they want to get you in the room, and they're going to charge you $4.99 or $50,000 every 2 years or something like that, and all they're going to give you is game. I'm talking about services. And I'm going to tell you something else. There are people that I know, and I have some friends in mind, what I'm thinking about, who don't just give game. They actually book people annually to work with them, and they will make sure that they help you get to that next level. So because I've done so much networking and work, I can usually partner you with somebody that can take you to that next level. But I'm going to try my best not to partner you with somebody who's just going to charge you for game. I cannot stand that. It's something that used to drive me crazy, because when I was in those situations where I had government contracts that were slow paying me, it was good money, but I was being stretched out for 90 days and sometimes 120 days. I didn't need nobody I didn't need nobody charging me for no game. I needed somebody to charge me for some services so they can help me figure out how to get in front of the check. So I just, is a pet peeve of mine, and I just said I'm not going to do that. I've been to so many conferences, and it's just game after game after game after game. I've spent so much money. I probably spent over $100,000 in coaching and webinars and seminars over the course of my career. So I can tell you right away, before you spend your money, who's just giving game, who's just talking shit, who's just gonna motivate you, and who's gonna put you in front of some checks. That's just who I am. So all right, family, I gotta go. Peace and blessings. Love y'all. Make sure that you go out and like and subscribe to the Sajda Wendy Muhammad YouTube channel. And make sure, Final Call Digital Edition, Assalamu Alaikum. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel so that you get a notification. We got some really cool guests coming up. I can't wait for you all to meet and learn more about. Okay, so stay close. Don't chip and dip me. You see the Cash App there, SajdaHouse.com or SajdaHouseDonations.com. Peace and blessings, family. Love you all.